Nobody dreams of becoming a surf journalist. I fantasized about being a marine biologist when I was 8 years old, before it became clear to everybody, including me, that I was not mentally equipped to deal with observable facts and shit. But then it did become clear, and I shifted towards wanting to become a Stinger missile smuggling medical missionary like my Uncle Dave. I studied in Egypt, traveled in Syria, Yemen, Somalia, and Azerbaijan with two fabulous co-conspirators. Learned enough Arabic to sound like an asshole. I never got to smuggle Stinger missiles, but had some fine adventures right as the world was heading headlong into the age of radical Islam. I wrote about some of them for magazines, like about grime music in Somalia and how to run from Al-Qaeda on a 150cc motorcycle in the Maghreb. And I decided that I was a great new journalist. I was the second coming of Norman Mailer, except whoever the Golden Globes version is. And then Israel invaded Lebanon, and there I went, ending up in a Hezbollah dungeon. At that very moment I cursed my fate, my recklessness, and begged God for a way out, any way out. He answered my prayers and took me away from the Hezbollah dungeon and the bizarre interrogator who kept insisting that Jennie Garth from Beverly Hills 90210 was super cute. Away from radical Islam, war, and missiles. He took me to surf, and I breathed a sigh of relief, thinking, whew. And Jennie Garth is okay, but not super cute. Though I totally admitted to the bizarre interrogator that she was hotter than Beyoncé. The things a man will do to save his fingernails. A honking horn startles me into the present. It's an older model Toyota Camry with two surfboards strapped to the top, fins down, cruising very slowly down Main Street, clearly from Chino or Riverside. Nobody ever puts a board on a car with its fins down. I've sat through raging multiple hours long debates over whether it is better to put the fins forward or put the fins back, but never ever down. It is one of the infinite ways to be a kook. God took me from the Hezbollah dungeon to surf anyhow, and at first I breathed a giant sigh of relief and thought, I'll kick it here until the dust settles. I had always loved surfing, and it felt wonderful to follow the professional surf tour to perfectly non-dangerous France, Australia, and Tahiti, to write about beaches, sun, and waves. I was living the life, and after a few years my batteries were sufficiently charged. It was time to go back to war. I figured my way out was to write a surf book where I burned all my bridges. And so I wrote one about Oahu's North Shore, a place no surf industry really talks about publicly because it is violent and filled with scary people. Slaps, cracks, chokeouts, spam, faults, cracks, and knocks on the head. The surf industry person doesn't like any of these things and will generally shy away from any direct conflict if he can, preferring to passive-aggressively avoid his enemy. But he also has to go to the North Shore every winter where passive-aggressive avoidance doesn't work, and he doesn't want to get smashed for anything that could be misinterpreted as disrespectful. So he spends a month each year with his eyes darting, his mouth shut, and scared. If I wrote a book about it, I'd be committing surf industry seppuku and become an untouchable corpse. Welcome to Paradise, Now Go to Hell was supposed to be a complete disembowelment. It was supposed to get surfing's living nightmare furious with me. Somehow, though, surfing's living nightmare liked it. Or maybe it liked it. Fast Eddie Rothman, the man who runs the North Shore like a scarred-knuckled Don, was the book's star and couldn't be dreamt up even by the most ludicrous imagination. He is compact, powerful, tough, with a voice like thunder and a grip like pain. He is also somehow Jewish and from Philadelphia. When he walks into a room, the surf industry person begins shaking and quietly praying that Fast Eddie will go talk to anyone else. I spent time with him, yeah, but he was angry with me before the book came out, maybe anticipating an unfair portrayal. He called me and gave me an earful of hell, and I thought, good, no more surf for me. But he called me again 6 months after it came out and chuckled his low, guttural chuckle. You know, you write fucking good. It's a funny book. Son of a bitch, Eddie. Son of a bitch. Thanks, Eddie. Thanks a lot.